Welcome back to teleSUR English. We go now to Russia as a bilateral meeting is being held by the President of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. We see them at the Kremlin as they enter this bilateral meeting. Let's recall that historically, Cuba-Russia relations have been key for both nations, and they have been for the past decades, and they continue to be at this present moment. Let's recall that different world leaders are in Russia, in Moscow in particular, at this moment, ahead of the celebrations of May Day. Let's listen to President of Russia, Vladimir Putin.
About traveling to Moscow and celebrating with us this milestone anniversary, 80th anniversary of defeating Nazism in our country. We call World War II the Great Patriotic War because the entire population of the Soviet Union participated in defeating Nazism. Cuba also contributed to this victory. I know that you began your visit in St. Petersburg, Leningrad, and I want to say that volunteers from Cuba joined the Red Army troops near Leningrad, among other places, and it is symbolic that your visit here is also marking the 65th anniversary of resuming diplomatic relations that happened on May 8th of 1960, and I would like to convey my best regards, greetings to Comrade Raul Castro. We are very happy to see you here. Welcome.
Dear President Putin, for us it's not bothering to be here in the...
It's a great pleasure for us to be in Moscow. We feel very welcome here, and we are very grateful for the invitation extended to us. This is true. We mark two milestone events that unite us from the historic point of view, and the first milestone event, of course, there is no doubt about this. It's an anniversary of the great victory in the Great Patriotic War, and secondly, 65th anniversary of the restoration of diplomatic relations between our countries. And it is especially symbolic for us to be present here to celebrate, to mark these two events. And since all our efforts to preserve the historic memory in the context when there are growing attempts to minimize the exploits, the leading role of the Soviet Union, of the Soviet people, of the Red Army in defeating Nazism. And this victory helped not only to preserve Russia, but it was an important victory for the entire mankind. And it's a great merit to save the entire mankind. Now they're trying to rewrite history and to denounce this legacy. And there is a restoration of Nazism at a new level, and our goal that we must pursue is to preserve history. It's our that's what we must do, to preserve history. That's why we're here with you to mark these milestone events. And I also would like to convey the warm greetings and the best regards from Army General, from Raul Castro. And as for the 65th anniversary of the restoration of diplomatic relations, these are the relations that, despite all challenges, they withstood the test of time. We shared all the hardships and a lot of emotions. We shared a lot of joint projects. And we have reached this day. Today we are celebrating the 65th anniversary of our relations. And the history proved that only unity, solidarity in our friendship can help us to overcome the current challenges and the challenges of the future. We are happy to be here with you today. Thank you.
We're looking at images from Russia as Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel and Russian President Vladimir Putin were holding a bilateral meeting, these in the framework of Cuban President's visit to Russia ahead of Victory Day. They were both highlighting the importance of these bilateral relations that have stood the test of time, and they continue to strengthen in the present day. We'll continue to bring you more information. Stay tuned with teleSUR English.